a very busy week, and we are doing some exciting things. We've got a whole room in here right now where I think we're stamping and putting labels on some mailers that'll go out today and tomorrow. And we've had mailers going out all week. We've had text messages and all that fun voicemails and all that good stuff to get our candidates elected up here in Greenville. Now, what I am going to do, just for giggles, because this has now become the joke of the day, is I am going to.
How about we start with?
Oh, I'm sorry.
First.
What we are going to start with what is actually more important than that. Today is Ray's birthday.
Oh,
It's more than just a thank you. That we got a big cake for you.
all right.
What is it?
Oh.
Did you get bird for me?
I called Wade Fire District #1 right down the street.
Happy birthday
Day to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ray. Happy birthday to you. And to many more. Thank you for all your work. Thank you, sir.
What does that make you, 102 now?
Hey, you know,
You look good for
He tried to slip out early. He said he had a bunch of errands to do today. And he would listen and watch online, and we made him stay. So you are now, after you blow out the candles and have your first piece of cake, so the rest of us can dig in.
Yep.
You will be.
Think about it.
good election.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to tell. Don't tell your wish.
It's a good wish.
Oh, all right.
Thank you very much.
Notify the fire department, everything's cool.
We have a special guest here today, Frank Tiller. He's the chairman of Spartanburg GOP. He's sneaking in the back room. You want to sit down there? You sit up here.
You gotta give me some protection here, okay?
He's already beating up on it.
Hey, Jerry.
He's already been reading the paper. He's got his opinions made.
Thank you.
It's a great picture. All right.
Sorry.
Hey, Olga.
No, hey.
Well, apparently I told him I was coming. So I was gonna try to slip in on the nails and then.
It was what?
You knew, you said.
I had a feeling. Okay, what I am going to do, as they're cutting cake and passing it around, because I am going to make a to-do about this. I'm going to open and put on the screen. I'm going to share the screen of my Facebook page. So is that on the screen now, Olga? Can you see it?
Oh, please do.
It should be. Okay, so I'm going to add it to the page. Yes. Now I'll go to that page, and what I'm going to do is put in the top
Very well.
/Mark Lynch SC, because we are going to see. No, I mean, it's been several months now, and I am still blocked from Mark Lynch's Senate campaign Facebook page. We've met with him. He wanted to reconcile. He called our people. We sat down. I said he looked rather embarrassing that he has blocked the chairman of the Greenville County Republican Party from his Facebook page. I discussed with him, let him know the fact that I've never written anything on his page. We don't troll people. We believe in being professional, but being persistent. We also believe in exposing and telling people what is actually going on behind the scenes. This goes on. It's not with just us. It goes on with all kinds of politicians all over the place. I can't tell you how many politicians do not talk to other politicians, or how many people Drew McKissick does not talk to, or as you brought up, Howie Knapp. Howie Knapp, the director of the election commission, would refuse to speak to me. But we were invited, I'll stop sharing that, but we were invited this week I got a call from the new guy that works for Mark Lynch's campaign saying that he really, really wanted to invite No cake for you. But we got a call from Mark Lynch's campaign because the old guy that sat through some of these meetings and probably heard about Mark Lynch blocking us and doing all this stuff and yada yada and all the things that they say about us funding the opposition. But that guy's now gone. They said he was too liberal or Democrat. But this guy really wanted us to come to the library event Mark Lynch had on Wednesday, and I'm like, I don't think Mark Lynch wants us to come. I think I might be on a list, but I don't think Mark Lynch has changed his mind. Let me go check Facebook and see if he's removed the block on us even seeing what he talks about. I think where it initially got blocked was back during the debate on the big beautiful bill, and they were posting stuff on there opposing Trump, and I was maybe just talking about it with some people, the fact that, hey, do we really need a U.S. senator that is going to go up there and oppose the Trump agenda? Because that's what they were doing. They were opposing the big beautiful bill. They were opposing a lot of other things, and I'm like, are we hearing and seeing this? So that's the same issues and concerns we have about him. He doesn't want to talk about it, but he wants to come to our meetings and speak. So that's it. So I just wanted to, and I'm going to make a weekly to do about it. We're going to see how long it takes. A gentleman who thinks he wants to run for U.S. Senate, but he's scared to sit there and have a debate, have an open debate, or even let us see what he puts on his Facebook page. So it doesn't really matter to me. We can switch to a different account and look at his stuff anyhow. But I'm like, is that who we need? I mean, we're not Lindsey Graham fans by any means. But I mean, do we need a guy that doesn't talk to us now?
Yeah.
I got a guy as the U.S. senator that doesn't talk to us. Actually, at least his chief of staff talks to us and responds back to us. Why would we want to elect a guy that is even worse in respect of not even talking to us? So that's why people need to understand that. They need to understand that about all of these candidates. I will tell you, this week there was a kind of a short notice meeting as they were going to be up here. Paul Dans, who is also running for U.S. Senate, he and two of his people came up. They were speaking at the Clemson College Republicans last night. So they stopped by for half an hour or so. We got to talk mainly two things. What is his plan to be able to win? And we've talked about it with other counties and other folks around. Lindsey Graham is going to he's got the Trump endorsement. He's got $20 million in the bank. What's your plan to win that even incentivizes us? I hate to say it this way, but to get involved. I mean, we have limited time, treasure, and talent, the 3 T's. We have a lot of races we can get involved in and win. What's the incentive? What's your plan to be able to get to be able to beat Lindsey Graham? And I understand, it's a very tough road to hoe in that respect. But then we wanted to ask him about some legislative issues. Everybody's working, which is good. I'd rather you work and pay attention. But some legislative issues that were out of the Project 2025. We know school choice, so we asked him about that. It was not one of the particular issues in the Project Heritage's Project 2025 that he knew. He said we knew a lot more about it than he did, but he's going to do a little thinking and research. I gave him a pass, and we'll talk about it later. But really, on school choice, it's a very simple question. We always ask everybody. It's the litmus test. Do you want the government running it and giving the entire program, the purse strings of all of our private Christian schools, and run the entire program to one vendor, which is probably got some big money investors in it? And do we want to give all the purse strings to the same people that have screwed up our private or our public school system? So I mean, some public schools are good and all that, but I mean, why would we want an alternative system and give it to control to the exact same people, the purse strings? So that's question number one. Do you want the government running it, or do you want the free market? I don't think that's a hard question for most people. Government run, free market. check out the South Carolina Republican platform, all of that good stuff. But I will tell you, so I can tell you the folks that will sit there and get wrapped around the axle trying to say how, oh, well, this case is different. We need the government to run it. The government doesn't need to run anything except for perhaps the military or some things of that nature. If I could, outsource everything. There's actually a town, what is it, Sandy Springs in Atlanta, just north of Atlanta. I think they literally outsource everything. Literally, I think they have 10 employees and they outsource everything. And it would, so it can't be done, and it can be done successfully. But you get incentives, and it's like right now, the school, and I'll bring it up one more time, the school choice system program in the state of South Carolina is the nation's worst rated school choice system. And guess what? They won't fix it. It's been the nation's worst rated school choice system when they took it away from the free market. They didn't like us. And because we were making it successful and then we made it work. And if it works, then guess what? The government can't come in and fix it and hire a group like Class Wallet, and pay them hundreds of millions of dollars to private equity investment, that type of stuff. So that's what we're working for, and that's what we're talking to. I will tell you, past Monday, we had our quarterly Greenville GOP meeting. We did go ahead and pass on the second reading the 3 censures. Number 1 was against county council, the 3 remaining Republicans on county council that did the tax increase. 2 of them will be up for election next June. We've already eliminated 3 of the 6. We censured the other 3. Hopefully we can get 2 of those unelected next September or next June 9th. We did a second censure of Lieutenant Governor Pamela Vett, who will tell you, interestingly enough, I had a communication with some people from her camp last night. And what did they do? They accused me, oh, you must be getting paid for this. I said, no, I'm not getting paid. I want school choice fixed. And Pamela Vett, if we all know, her PAC, the main person that runs her PAC is C.Dan Adams, who is, I think, probably highly invested in I know he's a huge advocate for government-run school choice. So that's why Pamela Vett cannot sit down with her. Her donors are not going to allow her to sit down with us because she can't have a discussion in public, in private, or whatever about whether the government should run school choice or the free market. So you can't be a Republican. You can't say you support the Republican platform. You can't say you support Donald Trump when you're sitting there pushing the government-run program. Now, the good thing is, in the big, beautiful bill, they did include a federal school choice program. Guess what? Run by the free market. So why is Pamela Vett, and why are her donors, and why the state of South Carolina got a government-run program? Because, as we know, and as we see with the courts, and as we see with a lot of the politicians, we are the bluest red state in the nation. We have a supermajority. But the legislation that comes out of our state house is not conservative, so that's what we're trying to fix. So we censured Pamela Vett. I think that was at 84%. We recensured the 3 county council members. I think that was supported 92% or something. I would have to get the exact numbers. And the third person we censured was a lady by the name of Diane Mitchell. Diane Mitchell used to be the 3rd vice chair in charge of reorg, Greenville County Republican Party. She was in charge of the reorg in 2021. And the reorg of 2021 is where we have all of the documented fraud of ballot harvesting. So she was the person literally participating in the ballot harvesting and supervising the ballot harvesting. I think we censured her at 84, 85% as well. So, and I think the reason, it wasn't 100% is some people voted against just despite me because they didn't like me putting it up there. But I mean, anybody that had questions, they had the ample opportunity to discuss it. And if there was a good reason, we would have changed course or done something different. But the vast majority of everyone that was out there, the vast majority of our executive committee, as you see, were very much in favor of it. And they elected us to go out and do these things. They didn't elect us to sit there and have supper club. They elected us to sit there and go after and expose these people. So what my biggest disappointment with Diane Mitchell is the fact that she is supported by the South Carolina Freedom Caucus. South Carolina Freedom Caucus is endorsing someone who participated in reorg fraud of 2021. So if anybody cares about election integrity and they're sitting there claiming down on the table, oh, we all believe in election integrity, but then they're endorsing somebody who actually interfered with an election, I don't know how we want to express it, that's a problem. And we have reached out to all of them. We have made sure they were well informed of the information. We've sent them the investigative report. We've let them know that guess what, these people that oversaw it resigned, all that kind of stuff. Industries, once that report came out and it was clear, and they have all refused to reverse their endorsement. So that's what you get with the Freedom Caucus. But remember, and I'll remind everyone, the Freedom Caucus started in May of 22, and it was started by the same people here in Greenville. Well, one of them is here in Greenville. RJ May was out of Lexington, but he was all buddies with them. He was the co-founder, as a pedophile, just pled guilty to that a couple of weeks ago. So there's part of your birthing of the South Carolina Freedom Caucus. But Adam Morgan and Nate Loip and all of those guys, they started it in May of 22 after we took over the Greenville County Republican Party in May and April of 2021. So the South Carolina Freedom Caucus is quite frankly the answer, the DeSantis group answer to us, the American First MAGA folks, taking the grassroots, taking over the party here in Greenville. So that's what we're going to spread more news about, and we're going to, and obviously we're going to see how the election goes in House District 21. That special election, there's 3 people running. There's Diane Mitchell, a young kid, Jack Scott. There is Steve Nail, who we are supporting. And then there's a guy by the name of Reggie Patson. I think Reggie is the establishment pick. So I think that's out there. So we shall see. If Steve Nail was to win, it'd be quite interesting because we would beat the Freedom Caucus and the establishment in the same election. So, but that's what we're fighting. So, okay. Any other questions or thoughts or anything that's going on this week that anybody wants to particularly talk about? You want to talk about Lake Cunningham? Sure.
You want to come in here so it's closer to the mic?
Tell us your name.
Since we don't know you.
You can sit outside.
Sorry.
So the camera can see you.
I'm gonna run as a write-in candidate for a fire commissioner for Lake Cunningham Fire District. We're trying to get a picture of this to tell everybody where it is, because the lines are all over the place. But most of us remember a year ago, we beat a fine. They tried to wanted to raise our taxes a little bit, and I just want to give a lot of this up to know that I'm going to run as a taxpayer advocate. Originally was taxed enough already, and I still am. So it's Anthony Gilliard. I got some cards. There's going to be a gig next, I think it's next Saturday, the 25th, at the fire department, Lake Cunningham, and I'll be there.
But there's 2 positions in the Lake Cunningham Fire District. Literally nobody signed up to run.
Wow.
Nobody. Now, I have spoken with Conway. We went to their board meeting, the election board meeting, and he seemed to be a little frustrated. He had been talking to them over at Lake Cunningham, and apparently they had some plan and something, and then all of a sudden, at the end of the day, nobody signed up. So I don't know what their issue or what the concern is, but
we don't know what the plan is from the chief, I guess. He's a pretty powerful politician in some cases.
Well, he's not a politician. I mean, he's not elected. It's the board. So, I mean, that's, maybe he's trying to stack the board for him.
Well,
I don't
that's
know.
just sort of what I mean. I
Yeah.
believe they're gonna have somebody that gets written in, and once he finds out that that I'm there, because I went through with that meeting and going to the meeting, and then the people showed up and pounded them.
And Lake Cunningham had that extra, they had a special election or special vote to increase their budget.
Mhm.
And that was on the ballot.
No, it wasn't. It was a special election in and of itself. They didn't get it on the ballot, but
Right.
it was like a week after the November.
But it was to increase the millage rate, right?
It was a
Or
bond.
a special bond.
It was a bond and to substantially increase the millage rate,
Right.
or give them the authority to substantially increase.
And it was defeated
Soundly.
soundly, yes, yes.
70% or something.
Yeah, it was crushed.
Okay.
So we believe that taxed enough already, people are still here, and
Well, if you want my advice, I don't know what your plan is, but I would go find everybody that voted in that special election, whatever that was, after the week after the regular elections.
Yeah.
Those are your people that are, if 70% of them voted against it, those are your 70% of the people that are.
yeah, a normal write-in, 20 people might win. But this, I don't think it's gonna be a normal write-in, because like you said, they got a plan. They're not gonna just let anybody come in there and be on the commission.
Well, but if you're interested in it, I mean, I think we could get the voter records for the people that voted in there. We could reach out to them and help spread the word on this if interested. So, because,
Any word that's why I knew this was here.
Okay.
I take time, I still work, but this just happened, printed those cards this morning, and so I had time to come by here and speak to the Greenville County GOP, which I have been part of for decades, I guess. 2008.
what happened in 2008?
If somebody wants to help Steve Dale campaign, how would they get in touch?
I think you can find it on his website and his
Thank
phone.
you.
He's got people on there,
Thank
door knocking and all that kind of stuff. We're doing our stuff from the Greenville GOP perspective. What we did is we put out mailers in the crossover, so we get double the help. But we put out, I guess, a big mailer that went out for the precincts that were in Senate District 12 and House District 21. So we were promoting both Lee Bright and Steve Nail. And then we're doing some lit drops over the weekend.
How does someone get involved with that?
Well, we've got all that taken care of, but you can call Steve Nail's, people and ask him, what to do. But if you're a precinct in District 21,
Mine is not.
okay, I would check with them. But
And remember, election day is on Tuesday, so you don't have much time.
right,
Yeah.
so what we have been doing is sending text messages into that area too. So
So speaking of that, today is the last early voting day. If you are in Senate District 12 or House District 21, you can vote until 5 o'clock this afternoon on McAllister Square.
that's for Greenville County.
Right.
If you're in Spartanburg County and
The
you're
election
in
office,
Senate
right.
12,
Right.
you got to go all the way to the election office down there.
Or within the county administration building, it's very easy.
Is that the big fancy building you'll have?
It's not very fancy.
That's the new courthouse.
The
Yeah.
courthouse.
Yeah.
No, this is the old.
Okay.
The old
Soon to be replaced though, soon to be replaced.
We're replacing that. All right, the old Sears building. So go to, but what we have been doing, we have not seen, or I'm not sure there was a lot of early voting in House District 21. I haven't seen the numbers. I've
It's very light, very,
Yeah,
very light.
yeah, that's what I would expect. Because it's a long drive. I mean, it's right there on the border between Spartanburg and Greenville. So, I mean, it's
There's
tough.
also some confusion because we're on top of other elections.
No.
Yes, there is. Yes. So
The early voting opens next week for the local races, so it's just so confusing. And we're still in the middle of a sheriff's race.
when are y'all finalizing that?
Well, it'll be on November 4th,
Is it November 4th?
and although there's no Democrats or other parties, there's always, like this gentleman was talking about, a writing campaign. I don't know if I've heard anything out there, but it's always possible.
Bill Ryan's looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the only writing campaign I've ever heard that actually worked was Strom Thurmond's writing campaign a long time ago, and he gave everybody a pencil with his name on it. So that was his writing as you walked into the poll. So I don't think they actually legally allow that anymore. I'm very sure they don't legally allow it.
Yeah,
But
But where there's a little glitch in all that is we have a county council race also.
Right.
But there is a Democrat and a forward party in that. So if you hit straight D, then your vote for sheriff goes nowhere. So there's a little
so
glitch.
y'all don't have a Democratic sheriff in the
No.
race?
No.
Okay.
No.
So you should be fine. Why don't you two gentlemen, since y'all are here as our special honored guest,
No, he's the other guest. I'm just a hang along.
Frank Miller, chairman of the Spartanburg GOP.
Good.
I don't really know what to say, to tell you. But I did hear the other day talking about write-ins that our former mayor, Bill Barnett, won from a write-in.
Really? Really?
Wow.
So he had been, what, 10, 15 years ago? He won as mayor.
So that'll have to be our new example instead
I
of
had spent 3 hours in the last 2 days talking to some people about some issues with our mayor right now, who is running for re-election, that has got a secondary job at Spartanburg High School, which that's 2 government jobs you got, and boy, there's some people that are fired up about that right now.
is that
But he is contested. I mean, there is,
He has a cousin running against him.
yeah.
is it okay?
It's just, you can't make up this stuff.
We, in Spartanburg, is different from Greenville. We have all kinds of people that want to run for offices, unlike the guy that just left. They can't find anybody to run for office. We have 9 sheriff candidates, 8 county council candidates. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Everybody wants
And
to
yet
run.
this last week, we're asking me if I could work it through something to reopen filing for these local races, like I'm gonna make up new laws.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
He has a write-in
Yeah.
option.
I'm over here just trying to absorb. No.
You didn't know what you were getting into, did you?
I had no idea.
I could have told him.
I had no idea.
And would you introduce yourself? And tell
My
us-
name's Rick Beltram, Spartanburg County. I was the GOP chairman for 10 years,
Okay.
1999 and 2009.
Welcome.
And we went through a very interesting time when Dick Cheney in 2004 said he wasn't going to run, so we had 3 years of presidential candidate just climbing in our town,
Right.
county constantly.
Right. Well, Rick, I will tell you, you're sitting next to a former chair
He told
here
me
as
that.
well,
Yeah.
and this gentleman is a former chair too, out of Georgia and then New York. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, I guess 5 chairs. Too many chiefs and not enough Indians.
Well, I know, but we would like to pull the whole upstate together and be a force. to be
Yes,
reckoned
and I think that is what ultimately what we're needing to do. So between our America First counties, Spartanburg, Greenville, Pickens, Anderson, Oconee, and some of those are I think the strongholds. Bring in York from that side. I mean, those are the strongholds. But my discussions with folks in that too. I mean, we need to play a hard game. The fact that Pamela Bett I'm going to harp on her because that's the topic of the day. But the fact that she will not come and sit down and discuss, we care about legislative issues. I don't care who sits in the seat. I don't care how pretty you are or what, or you're male or female, black or white, green. I don't really care about any of that type of stuff, but I care if you're going to be working with us on getting legislation implemented, because that's why people are here. Whatever I have my cause, we all know school choice, pro-life, closed primaries, pro-life. What's your main cause? Pro-life. I mean, we have to sit there and we have to focus on those things. And And what they have done to us is try to divide us. And we cannot allow that division to go on. So I'm very much in agreement with the 80-20 Ronald Reagan rule. We
Glad
are.
to hear that.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes I get the idea, I hear
Oh, yeah.
other things coming out that you're not 100%. You're
Oh, yeah. I was told literally by a House rep yesterday, oh, Jeff, it's always has to be your way or the highway. And I'm like,
You got any more to say?
I am literally asking this gentleman to sit down and have a discussion about something, and he doesn't want to discuss. That's not that. Those are talking points. Those are things that I am called a bully. I'm called I mean, I may get out there and talk pretty stringent about stuff, but I'm like, if you've got a good case, let's talk about it. We will change direction. But I'm not going to sit down and talk to you, Jeff, is not the answer to anything. Pamela Vett, unwilling, she goes to something every day. She was at the fair last Friday. I mean, you can't take time to sit down an hour out of your time and talk about 2 or 3 or 4 legislative issues. You can't talk about, hey, Pamela, you are the lieutenant governor, you are at the state convention. You were at the Charleston County Convention. Did you see what they did to those people? Did you see the cheating that was going on by Drew McKissick? They don't want to have those discussions. That's not 80-20. That is, 99% against us. That's against the people. The people are tired of this type of stuff, and the people want to be able to have a discussion about it and do what's right by the people. They don't want to talk about judicial reform. They don't want to talk about all those types of things. But that's what we have to do, and that's why we work with several folks. I mean, obviously Paul Dans came yesterday, and other people that are doing statewide stuff. But we've got to come together as a group, and I think even on our side, we kind of joke about it. You got to go through Greenville to get. I mean, we're 12-13% of the state. Well, guess what? That's nice, but it's not enough. We need our 12% plus whatever you're not 8, 6, 7, 8% plus. I mean, if we sit there and we've got a block of 25%, with York, then we can get some people to the table. Then we have to get them to the table to have discussions. It can't be, oh, we're supporting one thing over here in Greenville, and Spartanburg supporting a different thing, and in York supporting a third thing. That's what they want, and that's where we have to come together. We may not all agree on everything out there perfectly, and I'm okay with that. I'm quite frankly the nicest guy in the room with a lot of people that we kind of can pull together. But it's that's where I see we're gonna have success. So what we've talked about with our counties is pulling, number one, that America First counties together, and then going hard into the counties that are not friendly to us right now, and give those folks an opportunity to work cooperatively, come to the table, talk to us. Let's work on the South Carolina Republican platform and get those issues that we can agree on, passed. And if those people don't want to work with us, then we need to find people that will work with us in those counties.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
So, as I explained earlier before Frank came in, I'm kind of a numbers guy. How do you explain that Greenville County Trump vote is blown off?
Because we only got involved in 21. Myself, Presley Stutz is in that picture right there, passed away August 19, 2021. We, in 2016, Trump shocked the world, right?
Correct.
We set up a meeting with my predecessor, Nate Lloyd, and the leadership in Greenville County with the idea of, hey, we were involved in the Tea Party, with the idea of, hey, let us work with the Greenville County Republican Party. Let us recruit these folks into the party that had voted for Trump, and let's build Greenville GOP into something much larger. Not that their theory is this is what we claim, keep it small to control it all. They didn't want anybody joining. They told us no. They told us those Trump people will never come back. They'll never vote for anything else. They don't care. They're not involved. How many people here voted for Trump? And you're here. You're here because you want to get involved in
That's not
something.
my question. So in 24, your number dropped from 2020, percentage-wise.
It may have, yes. I don't know. I've been looking.
Ours went the other way.
I haven't looked at those numbers, but
You're talking about in the primary?
No, I'm talking about in the general election.
The general
You were 59% for Trump. We were at 67%.
okay. What were we in 20?
It was a couple points higher than, it was over 60. I mean, with your demographics and everything else, I mean, you should be a 65% county every time for the GOP nominee for president. So my question is,
So it was.
how do you make up that gap?
Last year, you know?
What was it? But so you're saying we went down a couple points from
You've
2020.
been dropping the last few election cycles as we've been going up the last election cycles.
Look at the city of Greenville right down the street. Okay. City of Greenville is advertising all over the globe. Move here, move here, move here. The city of Greenville is a Democratic controlled city.
Okay, and how many people live in the city of Greenville?
70 something.
And your county is
600.
600,000.
Yeah.
So it's 20%, 22%.
It's
I mean, we have the same percentage with our city, which is a
Yeah.
Democrat city too.
right, but I don't
But
think
we overwhelmingly make up for it in the county.
yes, but you're not. I don't think your city of Spartanburg is advertising as the mega hub for everybody to move here. This county of Greenville has been targeted. The county of Greenville has manufacturing. We have BMW, y'all BMW. We have a lot of manufacturing here. They're trying to turn the county of Greenville into what Asheville is.
Okay, so
Oh,
thus far in 2025,
Mhm.
Spartanburg County is the third county in the whole country as far as residential real estate permits.
Okay,
So,
so
yeah, we're
You're
having
next.
a lot of people.
you're
But we're not turning more blue, we're turning more red.
until those flood of people move in.
Well, they're here. They've been moving here for the last,
But
Yeah, but you gotta understand with the city of Greenville, with all those condos and apartments that are jumping up. I remember when I moved here in 2016, you could walk down and have my daughter play around. You can't move right now. The amount of concentrated condos and apartments down there makes up for a lot. You're seeing all these around where I live, it's all farmland. It's now all apartment complexes for the same price.
but is that within the city or in the county?
No, within the city. If you go downtown Greenville, I can point out all the new condos and they completely outlawed single family homes just to build these high rises and stuff like that. The people moving in there are purely Democrat.
So that's diluting the whole county that much.
Yes.
But it's coming to Spartanburg. If y'all don't stop it, and I mean, we've got Democratic folks in the city of Greenville advertising all over the world to come move here because it's a beautiful, great place.
Well, I
Now-
think we're doing that because even in our sheriff's race, there were no Democrats that filed. It was all Republicans, 9, right? 9 Republican candidates, including one who was African American.
Yeah, but it
Very
took about
conservative.
I was here in 2016. It took 2019 is when it switched to Democrat in Greenville. It took about 3 to 4 years. So you're at the beginning of that much development that's happening over there. I mean, it's gonna flip.
Well, the city's been Democrat far longer than
I
2009.
know, but watch what they're spending their money on. If they're
Okay.
spending their money redeveloping and growing the heck out of like what not swaying those guys. I mean, it's great. I went to high school here, graduated in '85. I mean, you know, it's a lot different downtown, but it's now they have used. I mean, you understand the idea of a cash cow, and I mean they've taken Greenville, utilized the heck out of it. And now it's going to be on the downward slope. That's, I mean, we've got fights, we've got all kinds of things. There's a lot of stuff. They're now covering up crimes that are going. They're not being reported. Why are they doing that? Because they want to keep getting people to move here and keep them fooled. And that's what we need to stop it. We need to shut
Something
something
else that they're not noticing. I live just outside the city limits in the county. The city's full. There's no place for the people coming. They
Correct.
come from the north
Correct.
too.
Correct.
They're coming to the suburbs.
I think-
right
And they
now.
can annex, and they're annexing some
They
stuff
get
on.
annexed into the city, a lot of them.
That's
But a
tough.
lot of
It's not
areas,
easy to annex
you're
in the state.
losing, yeah, and you're also losing a lot of Republican votes because the people coming from up north that are infiltrating down here to tip the pay scale are moving to Greenville County, and they're just living just outside the city.
Well, our city of Greenville, just annexed 3 or 4 big blocks, you know, a month ago.
I guess we're getting all the conservatives from the north end, because we're not getting all these liberals from the north.
We're getting a lot. We're getting a lot of conservatives here. A lot of these folks, I mean, and they're fighters, which will be good. But
Good.
if you don't get on top of it, and you just keep handing it over, I mean, Nate Lloyd, the previous administration here, did not want Trump people involved. Guess what we did? We got them involved, and we voted all of them out.
But you also got.
And now we've got nothing but they did nothing but fight us and try to trip us up all the
You may
way.
have a Trump vote, but these city councils and county councils that are flipping, that's where all the damage comes. Because once they come in, then they start greenlighting on these developments, and it slowly turns. So you might have the Trump vote there, but eventually that's going to change if the county.
Well, the city council in Spartanburg has been Democratic for 20 years or more. County council, we have one Democrat, the rest are Republicans, and that's been pretty static. Well, I think most of them are pretty solid guys.
But I don't think you're not seeing the development in downtown Spartanburg like you saw in downtown Greenville.
Because we're pretty full too.
We're not yet.
And we're not, and I mean, fortunately, there's.
I mean, I see tons of opportunity there in Spartanburg, downtown. But I mean, it's not like going in downtown Greenville.
Oh, no.
But
I mean, it's way built up in
that's my
downtown
point,
Greenville.
Jeff, is the fact that downtown Greenville is built up. Where do you think the developments are now
I
going?
think they're going to
They're
start going.
coming up
Well,
to
they're
the north side of Greenville, to the west side of Greenville. Right now on the west side of Greenville, they are putting up these freaking daggone monstrosity duplexes right at the end of the west, right there on West End.
Weird.
I got another little trivia.
But I do think a lot. If I was looking at building skyscrapers, yes, I could look in downtown Greenville. I think people are going to start.
Well, let me give you a little trivia.
in Spartanburg.
When you dig down deep into the 2020 census, not that many years ago, you know what the number one in-migration county of Spartanburg County was? In-migration, number one county in the whole country. You know what it was?
What was it?
Greenville County. We have a lot of people moving from Greenville to Spartanburg. Our home prices were the lower.
Yeah.
So that was interesting when I saw that. The number one in-migration county was Greenville County. To
Oh,
Spartanburg.
into Spartanburg.
In-
Yes.
Came from Greenville County.
Oh, I can see that.
Number one.
Our conservatives go with Spartanburg.
Well, maybe so.
That's what
They
it's
like
at.
Frank. They think Frank's great.
I don't know that I won my election. They lost. The people voted those people out because they didn't like the direction.
Well, and that's true.
It just
Yes.
happened to be.
You
Yeah.
know,
And,
since 2008, my office, my business office has been the GOP headquarters. It
Right.
still is today.
Right.
And it's interesting, the people that show up from out of state, out of county, come in and
Yeah.
want to get involved.
and a lot of
These
times
are
they're
northern
turned
people
away.
coming.
Oh, yeah.
But you need to accept those people, bring them in,
All
give
the
them
time.
jobs. I
All
mean,
the time.
give them positions and stuff all day long. We did that with the old GOP here, and we're told, we were given a high
I can't deal with those dynamics. That's your problem. Unfortunately, it's not our problem.
But it was. I think it was the same problem y'all were dealing with before Frank and those guys got involved. I never ever met and talked to his predecessor,
Curtis Smith.
Curtis Smith. I was chair in the CDC 4 years.
He
Curtis Smith
he
never
had the
ever met.
whole process of keep it small, control it all. They never reached out. I got, when I ran for county council 3 years ago, I had no help from them at all.
And that's the one thing I told Lee Bruck. I said, Lee, you ran in June of last year. You're going to have a much better opportunity because the GOP has changed. The GOP has changed. Right now, the GOP would have been supporting one of the other candidates had Frank and Becky and those guys not gotten involved. You would have had a more liberal senator elected, assuming Lee Bright wins. You would have a more liberal senator elected. That's why we get more liberal stuff coming out of the state house. I mean, to me, it's a simple thing. Our theory: take the bully pulpit of the GOP. There's not much we can do, but we do have a bully pulpit. We preach it. We talk about it all the time. We can censure people. We can do things. And like I told the person from contact from Pamela Vet's group, I'm like, it's not, the censure is just the beginning. It's not the end. It is literally the beginning. Look at what we did with Greenville County Council. We will put it in our paper that we'll put out. We will do it in lit drops. We will do it on door knocking. We will do it on social media. We will do it on text. We will continue to harass Pamela Vet because we got to make an example out of her. Like, we got to make an example out of anybody that will not come to the table. And we got to let people know That's who's asking for your vote. Somebody's asking for your vote is unwilling to come and sit down and talk about legislative
So
issues.
my question is, just
But let me finish
Go
this.
ahead,
quick.
sorry.
If we get the bully pulpit of the GOPs, we can get better candidates. We can get better legislation. 3-step process.
So let me ask you a question. Let's assume that somebody wins a primary that's not your choice. Do you support that person in the general election?
we have to. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
As long as we understand, we got to come together once the primaries are over. Because a lot of people out there won't do that. They'll just run to the hills someplace.
There are people that are right now. There are people in Greenville that are subverting our Republican candidates because they don't want to flip the city of Greenville red because they don't want us having that victory. There are people. Listen to me. I mean, I agree with you. I'm not going to sit there and I may not like whoever comes out of the special election in House District 21. There's no Democrat running against them, so it really doesn't. There's not much to do really in the primaries, or I'm sorry, in the general election. But I mean, we're going to support them. That's what we're supposed to do.
I like to underscore the discussion about the annexation thing, because I mean, in my precinct, I know several developments that have been put in there. Prior to approving the development, they had to be annexed by the city. That was part of the agreement to get the development. So you take a few Republican homes that are out there. Now you got concentrated housing. Guess what? I knocked on those doors. They're Democrats. And they're coming in. I also knocked on doors in Cleveland area, those homes that are there. They are totally against
Cleveland
the
Park,
concentrated housing in Greenville. They are totally against the mayor on the rates, but they didn't have the impact that they should have had.
Mm-hmm.
They can see the developments coming towards their neighborhood in Cleveland Park. They're going to be gone. It's going to be replaced by concentrated housing Democrats.
But the people that are elected on county council and whoever's approving all of these types of things, they're in bed with the developers.
Correct.
And if we don't stop the development, if you don't stop it in Spartanburg, it's going to continue to erode at your Republican versus Democrat ratios.
I'm going to be a little bit of a contrarian here, so please don't throw eggs all over me.
Yeah.
I came from New Jersey because New Jersey, northern Jersey, Livingston, New Jersey. I had a manufacturing business up there, and the shutdown of regulations, anti-development, heavy on small manufacturing companies, chased me out of the state. Now, 36 years later, no business would ever move to New Jersey. So you got to be real careful when you walk that line about limiting development. Do you stop it, and then all of a sudden the result of that is those same manufacturing distribution companies that might have come here are going to Alabama or Mississippi. So you got to really walk a fine line, not to become known as anti-development. I understand proper development, I understand infrastructure, but if you start shutting that down, I know Frank and I don't agree on fee and lieu stuff, but I was a recipient of that. I added jobs, I added wealth, I added my own personal commitment to the county of Spartanburg, and there's other people that have done the same thing. So again, you don't want to let it get out of control, but at the same time, you got to be clear and look at the full term result. Is it beneficial over the long term?
Wow. Scout Motors. I mean,
There you go. That's the biggest move.
it's everybody knew it was bad, but everybody was getting greased.
Where would we be right now? BMW did not move here.
BMW was a far different deal back then. BMW would have asked for 10 times more or 100.
Well,
I mean, we are winning deals that other people are saying, I don't even
But
want to touch
I
that.
had just moved here and I heard all the controversy about people's farms and everything else going away and this and that. And I look back now, 30 some years later, and say if BMW was not there, the upstate of South Carolina would be in deep depression economically.
Because why? We lost the textile industry?
Well, the textile industry was going away. The textile industry
Why was it going away?
was going away because our cost we can't compete.
NAFTA?
I mean, China, Thailand,
Yeah.
India,
Okay. But NAFTA.
But I mean,
And who was our U.S. senator or congressman from up here that was voting and supporting all that? Jim DeMint.
right. But if you go look back in history, where was the textile industry before it came here?
Up north, yes.
Correct. And before that, in Europe. So what I'm saying is, unfortunately, the textile industry I don't find is a great example.
I know,
because
but
it's a nomadic industry from the beginning of our time,
well,
We were
but
accelerated by NAFTA.
and it's still moving.
Accelerated. By
it was
NAFTA.
so
Okay.
accelerated by NAFTA, which was
Well,
Jim
to
DeMint,
Mexico.
which is also the guy we fight on school choice, who's also backing the South Carolina Freedom Caucus. He's been lining his pockets since back then.
But I'm actually glad that the textile industry has moved on, and we're now in high-tech automotive industry. I assume you've all taken tours of that assembly plant in Greer. Have you all done that? You should. It's unbelievable when you go in there and see how that high-tech has brought high-paying jobs and really smart thinking.
Kazuzu's coming now.
Zuzu's coming now.
Listen, I've got no problem. We could have had both. You could do a lot of, but those types of industries also bring in oftentimes the unions. They haven't infiltrated that as of yet, but I mean, it brings in what ends up destroying the New York and the New Jersey side of things.
Well,
I mean,
New York is destroyed because it was self-inflicted.
I know, but it's going to happen here too.
If you
If you
stay on
don't stop it, if you don't control it, and if you
Well, I understand you want to have guardrails around. I understand it. But to be anti-development, just because you want to be anti-development.
I'm not anti-development. I'm anti-giving away the store. These people have given away the store. I could be the nicest guy on the planet if I was willing to screw everybody else in
So
this
your
room.
thinking is that any kind of fee in lieu, whatever, should not be.
I think some of them may be very good deals.
Okay,
I think some of them are the worst deals on the
I agree
planet.
with you. But you do agree that the basic principle could be very beneficial.
Yes, I believe the basic principle could be.
Okay.
I believe number two, it is very simple to fix our state constitution. The only reason we have fee in lieu of is because of something in the state constitution. They can fix that. They refuse to fix that because they want to work back here behind the curtain and spread the money around to everybody and claim the fee in lieu of tax problem. I'm a tax attorney CPA. You can figure the whole thing out. We got no problem changing the state constitution, and that's why we have fee in lieu of, right?
Yeah.
So, but they refuse to fix it because there's all kinds of shenanigans that are going on.
I'm not deep enough into those details. I just.
Well,
know-
but let me.
Experience.
I mean, I get that. Let me stop you right there. I get that all the time. People will say, "I'm not into those details." I just gave you the details.
Okay.
How hard is it to change the state constitution? It has to be voted on by the legislature. It has to be put on the ballot.
Correct. It's got to be ratified, right?
It happens a lot.
It does.
It's
It
not a
can be
big.
done.
They refuse to do it. Just like what goes on in the state party. We do not, we talked about it a little bit earlier. The state SCGOP says you do not have to report on your accounts.
Right, but you and I agree
Operating-
to stop doing that opens up a lot of problems.
Reporting on it or not reporting?
No. I mean, if you stop reporting, Drew McKissick may tell you that
Oh, I
the
think-
ethics commission will be all over your rear end because I was spending the last couple of months wailing about the Democrats in our county not doing it. They
Yes.
finally,
But there's a difference. There's operating accounts and there's campaign accounts. Drew says you don't have to report any accounts, operating or campaign.
I disagree.
I'm with you.
Okay,
The
very good.
state ethics commission says you have to report operating. You do not have to report campaign.
Correct.
We follow what the state ethics
So
commission tells
we've
us.
always done Spartanburg. He may want to choose to do it, but we've always put that into one account. We report it all.
You can do that.
Every dollar that comes in.
Right.
And see, for
Right.
me, being on the ethics commission, I can't give to campaigns.
Right.
But I can give him unlimited money that he can then give to whoever he wants. I might give him a little suggestion now and then, but.
We'll rewind that. But what Drew is doing, we could fix it where you report the campaign accounts too.
Okay.
But they're not. That was because of a state Supreme Court case, I think 2012. They won't fix it because there's all kinds of shenanigans
Oh,
going
absolutely.
on there.
Oh.
That's my
Okay.
point.
Okay.
They're not fixing that. We are now, and I'll let these guys know, and I'll let everybody else know, we are now going to open up our own campaign account that we do not have to report. I don't want them to know whether we got $1 in it or $10 billion in it. But,
fix it. It can be fixed. We are trying to figure out. Drew and those guys will not answer any questions that we're asking them,
But on the
facilitating.
global thing, you would agree transparency is the best way to go.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. There is no more transparent. This is a separate issue. This is a project on this campaign account thing, because we're going to get deep into campaigns and we're going to fight these people, because we're going to figure out what it is. But no, we post our bank statements. I mean,
Well, no, I've looked them up.
we post everything. I mean, but the campaign accounts, we're going to sit there and do what Drew does. And we're going to tell everybody about it, and we're going to mock it, and we're going to say this is horrible and this is wrong. Let's go fix the law. And we are going to pound that table so hard, and we're going to find out who sticks their head up and says, no, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. It's like the people saying, don't fix the FOIAs. The fee in lieu of. I'm like, fix it in the state constitution. I'm a CPA. I've talked to the finance people, and they're saying, oh, well, we got to hire this guy, we got to do this guy. But trust me, it's all working out fine. And I'm like, I could shoot 1,000 holes through this stuff. Fix it where the free market everybody's on an even keel. Because I'm telling you, a lot of the ones they're letting in are the ones that are willing to participate in the cheat, and those are your Democrats. And they're selling out Greenville County, and they're selling out the entire state to Democrats because it's lining people's pockets. They're not sitting there going and recruiting Republicans to move their businesses down here because the Republicans aren't willing to participate in the grift. Some of them are.
I'd like to segue off your original question statement.
Yeah.
But he says development, growing population. Why do people vote progressive, and why do people vote Republican?
I'll tell you exactly why. Because there are people that
Ideologically, do they vote for people they like?
no, they drink the Kool-Aid that all this free stuff sounds so convenient, so convenient. I happen to have a pretty nice business. I make a nice income 6 times, 5 times, 7 times a year. I go to the Barnyard Flea Market. I'm going to go this Saturday. So I get to know what the everyday person is thinking. And you got to keep talking to them, because somehow they think that government giving away freebies is a great way to go. So just before the 2020 election, before COVID hit, I went and spent a little time in Cuba for one reason only: to understand how bad socialism can get. And you're right, they have no homeless people. They have free health care. But if you get sick, there's no medicine. Putin is now recruiting mercenaries from Cuba, paying them $2,000 a month to go fight in Ukraine, because they get $20 a month in Cuba. $20 a month is the average wage in Cuba. But they have free medicine, free health care. They have no homeless, but they have nothing. I mean, building after building after building, all the sugarcane refineries vacant. They have a rail system in Cuba, no trains.
If the U.S. opened the U.S. market to Cuba, it could be like China. China's a similar ideological progressive country, but Nixon opened it up, and it took a few years, and then China just replaced it. Textile, it just went there, and now they're still.
And now
There's an ideology.
But Cuba, I mean, there's generations
But they
behind them.
can't sell to us, and I can't get a cigar.
But I can get you a Cuban-like cigar from the Dominican Republic, where I have an avocado farm. And that's why I went to Cuba to see, is Cuba going to be my competitor from a free republic, Dominican Republic, versus Cuba? It's never going to happen. Never going to happen.
And it's because their mindset has changed.
Oh, it's just awful.
I mean, it's funny. Olga's from Poland. They grew up under communism, right?
Right.
As soon as COVID hit, I mean, and she's obviously tied in with us, but as soon as COVID hit and they were all like, oh, you have to get the shot, all of her family lined up. I'm like, y'all fought communism. Y'all participated. But then as soon as the government tells you to get a COVID shot, you just line up.
Because
without even
your
asking.
DNA hasn't adjusted to freedom.
Right. It has.
I mean, even like when I go over to the Dominican Republic, I talk to them about government. They've only had 2 generations of freedom. Right. So they're still not understanding what it means to be an entrepreneur and things like that.
Right.
But I'm going to work with them until I die because at least they're going to listen.
Right. Well, and I will tell you, my theory on a lot of what America is and why we have maintained this and why the Democrats opened up the floodgates is because.
You invited me. He invited me, by the way. I'm sorry.
It's great. I think it's fantastic.
We're in trouble now.
But consider this: the people that came to America, the settlers. I don't know, we don't call them immigrants, we call them
Pioneers.
settlers. They came colonizers. Whatever you want to call them back in the old days. I mean, they were crazy people
Okay.
to get on a rickety old boat
Okay.
and spend weeks coming across. They were crazy. They wanted to be left alone. It was in their genes and genetics.
Correct. That's
My family came here in the 1600s. They must have been insane. Like, how do you get on a rickety old boat and do all this kind of stuff? They opened the floodgates for these people from places that it's not in their DNA.
Correct.
Their DNA and their understanding and their 2 or 3. I mean, they're happy that the government takes care of everything. There was an obvious attempt to change what America is about.
Yes.
And they're
And
still
they did it
trying
on
to-
purpose.
They're still trying to change.
Well, but Trump and those guys underneath, they're fixing a whole lot of things, and it's painful,
It's very painful.
and people don't like it, and they,
I
some
can't
people.
tell you how many people in my industry don't know how to navigate through those tariffs. And they don't want to study information because I guess you know that tariff, let's say it's 50%, is on the invoice cost in China, not the delivered price
Sure.
here. So if something's selling for $500, they probably paid $150. That's what the tariffs are. But they charge it across the board and then wonder why they're going out of business. I'm sorry to take up so much time.
No. I mean,
Frank, blame Frank. Please blame Frank.
My
He
point
told me to show
well,
up.
there's two pieces.
ideology and convince people our way is right. Free stuff is going to
No
break
good.
it. It can't.
Well, but
It's unsustainable.
if we're all believers in the free market, limited government, smaller government, but you can't, fee in lieu of, that's a bigger government. You're creating something. I mean, you're having to do all this documentation in secret, and you have to explain it to people that said that, oh, you don't understand. I'm a CPA. Let me explain it to you why this works. We can't, we need to say, you know what, this is the level playing field, and they will come. Let them come. Not, oh, I can cut a special deal for you. But this guy's really pro-life. I don't really like those pro-life people, so I'm not going to cut a deal with him. That's what they are doing.
Here's my chance for a plug for the Constitution class. If you haven't taken the Constitution class, tomorrow morning, we're giving it at the American Legion downtown. Be there at 9:30 for coffee and donuts, and it starts at 10. We'll let you out at 11:30. But people we can't get counsel to come to the Constitution class. It talks about the very freedom and how our government's supposed to operate. And all I can say about freedom is it's discretionary income. The more you give to the government, the less you have to spend on that free economy. And so it cuts down on individuals like yourself. You don't have that extra money to spend here and there where you wish to spend it.
That's why
Yeah,
we said
the
Carolina, New
government wants
Jersey.
to give it out to you.
We want to redistribute our way, not the government.
Anyway, I have some sales calls to make, but I appreciate time and blame Frank after I leave. Just blame him.
We talked about my socialism class I'm gonna get in January.
And you're teaching that where?
It'll be at Ben's, just.
Who knows that?
Okay.
block-
Well, I can show
We
you
do a lot of
with
education.
what socialism does to human beings.
And I can explain exactly why it's happening too. Mainly because conservatives are infected by it. So if you come and I don't insult you, I want to apologize ahead.
I've been in
It's not
sales
the
my whole
leftist-
career. I have such thick skin. No
It's
one
not
can
the
offend me.
leftists that are destroying the country, it's everybody else who is unconsciously promoting it along the way, or at least allowing us to start on the groundwork that the crazies are able to take advantage of it.
It's the easier.
Remember, Rush Limbaugh said it best years ago. You can't beat Santa Claus. And that's what the government's doing. They are being Santa Claus, giving away all this free stuff to people. As long as you give free stuff to people, they're going to keep voting for you. And eventually,
But it comes to a
That's-
breaking point because I think that the Republicans are going to win the governor of New Jersey.
hopefully.
Because there are people that
The last time you had a
Yes.
governor that was-
It eventually will.
So
Yes,
I
of
live in the
course.
Carolina Country Club, all right? Nice location. My property tax last year were $2,300. That same house where I came from in New Jersey last year, Take a guess what the property
10
tax.
times.
23.
Uh,
23.
More than that, $40,000.
Oh,
And you pay it by the quarter up front. You don't pay it after the year or at the end of the year, take your tax deduction. It's every quarter.
But what I told people here,
And when I talk to people up there, what do you pay for electricity?
Without
And they say, oh, you must pay a tremendous amount for electricity in the summer with all your heat. I said, what are you paying? Well, my bill was $500. Well, mine down here was $150. I mean, even utility costs are dramatically different.
Yeah.
And people in New Jersey, there's a county called Ocean County, which is along they call it Jersey Shore. That county is as red as Spartanburg County. They voted 73% for Trump last time, or 68%, sorry. So there are a lot of red people in New Jersey, and people are realizing that I just can't afford that cost anymore. Anyway, I'm sorry.
No problem.
thank you for coming. If you want to, I don't have horns. I promise. Like trumpets. Trump's like, okay. I really do have hair. I don't have horns, but no, I mean, but that's what we're fighting, and then it is a harder route, but we're trying to bring attention to some of these things. There is a deep state here locally that is much worse than the deep state in DC, and we've got there's certain people. They all seem nice. Howie Knapp seemed like a nice guy. RJ,
I went through his training over
RJ
and over again, and he would get up and page the deputy. They got very nice, and now I realize they were
RJ May, but RJ May seemed like a nice guy. The Quins, what they did, seemed like a nice guy. All these people. Ellen Weaver seems like a nice person. Lindsey Graham seems like. I mean, there's a lot of.
And remember, R.J. May was the guy railing against what he thought were rhinos and all that. And look what he was doing.
Yes.
I mean, that's disgusting.
And look who accepted him. Adam Morgan and those guys, which there's all kinds of rumors that are surround them. His employee is Nate Loip, right? Do you know who he is?
I know Loip.
Nate Loip. Nate Loip's first cousin. Do you know who he is?
No.
Who his first cousin who grew up a couple years younger than him, a mile from his house. Do you have a first cousin? I have one first cousin.
I have a first one, but they're in Denver.
Okay, but I'm like, most people know their first cousin, especially in that person a couple years younger, went to Bob Jones. You know where his first cousin is? His name is Rusty Loip. Rusty Loip is on Interpol's most wanted list for possession and distribution of child pornography.
Wow.
That is Nate's first cousin from down the street.
In this kind of, what is it thinking of Adam Morgan?
There's some people in the Bob Jones community that think he's great. There's some of us that think the guy is about as corrupt and as horrible.
But do you know Mike Timmons won last time?
Because of Spartanburg, y'all.
Yeah.
Spartanburg
Timmons
helped.
called me and said, Rick, I'm going to change my whole PR thing. Now it's Spartanburg and Greenville, not Greenville, Spartanburg.
Right. And I don't blame him. But
he went over in our place and lost over here. And I'm thinking, what is going on?
But there were three things that and I like this piece of it because we'll take credit for one of them. But Will Folks did a story about what were the three things. Right. It was obviously Trump's endorsement, the fact that his spouse, ex-spouse, did not crucify him over the sex scandal and all that kind of stuff. But number three is because Adam Morgan refused to come sit here, talk to us, or meet anywhere. It doesn't have to be. And we opposed him.
And yet he won Greenville County.
He didn't win it enough. That's the whole. That's my point. I appreciate Spartanburg. Love to take credit, but he didn't.
Because we won the election for him.
Oh, for Timmons?
Yeah.
But we also kept Morgan tamped down.
Well, that's an important part.
Yes, but I mean, but if the guy would not come talk to us, I mean, if you listen to what we speak and what we want, I mean, Adam says all the right stuff. But he is lying and lying and lying all day long. He lied about. We caught him. There was a big vote on some medical issue down there at the State House. He missed the vote, so we started asking the questions. Why did Adam miss this vote? And it turns out he said he was on a business trip. We had some people telling us they saw him or knew that he was in D.C. Getting money.
Yeah.
But he had told people he was on a business trip for Majesty Music. He would not tell people. He would not. That's why Tim was put out. All eyes Adam. That's all that guy can do. You cannot build. He cannot build something that is going to last and is going to change the direction and make us a more conservative state based on telling lies all day. And you can't build it based on we hounded them on RJ May. We've been fighting RJ May for 10 years. You know, I didn't know he was a pedophile, but I knew he was not a good person. But that's who they did. I mean, Diane Mitchell, not a good person, but they're all endorsing her. Why? Because she will do exactly what she says. And guess who? Guess who it is? It's Jim DeMint. I mean, who backs them? Young Americans for Liberty. Young Americans for Liberty, Ron Paul guys, all libertarian. Guess what? They used to oppose. I mean, we loved them because they fought for on our side of school choice, free markets. Guess what they do now? They push government-run school choice. Why? Because guess what? Young Americans for Liberty had a big sex scandal with kids, out there door knocking years ago. We probably lost donors, and here's Jim DeMint. Somebody donated $43 million to Jim DeMint's group last year. Who was it? And what did they want?
Well, just remember, between this gentleman, there are good conservatives that move south. So
Well, I think there's a whole lot of them.
You will.
There's a whole lot.
Record what they say about me, okay? So yeah, good to meet you.
Thanks, Rick.
Bye, guys.
Thank you, sir.
South Carolinians by birth.
Anybody gonna protest?
Only two.
I thought the protest was yesterday.
No,
It was 10/16.
Greenville-
Is it tomorrow?
Greenville's tomorrow.
It was just not ours.
Is it
The
tomorrow?
Democrats in Greenville posted wherever the protest was going to be. I don't know, but they moved it to Falls Park Amphitheater.
They were going to have it, I think, right in front of the Peace Center where we used to do ours.
That
So they-
assumptions.
Yeah.
That makes way too many assumptions.
But no, we're not going.
Still got New Jersey ones.
We're not interested in doing an anti-protest so that there's still protest. Right. All right, what's next? 12:30.
There's only two South Carolinians.
For one thing is, that discussion is since August. We've been under a moratorium for cluster developments.
Money.
I'll take a reset. Moratorium.
And you have to slow stuff down.
We're trying to slow stuff down.
That's all you gotta do.
That ain't gonna be much work.
All right, Jerry, you want to make any comment about the Jerry Tusso race? Ward 6, everybody in Simpsonville, early elections start Monday, 8:30 to 5, Monday through Friday. If you can, feel inclined to drive over to McAllister Square. But the big day is going to be November 4th. I think y'all got, 5 voting locations? Four. So in Simpsonville, get out and vote for Jerry on Ward 6. But everybody that lives in the city of Simpsonville gets to vote in this election.
That's right.
You don't have to live in the.
You don't have to live in the ward.
No,
So I think they're trying to spread out, make sure people live in different parts, but the entire city votes on each of the races. So
It's a strange thing.
it's very
There's
weird.
one seat for sale. One ward where there's really an election coming, and all those different wards get to vote too.
Right.
Now,
It's
that's
weird.
really strange to me.
Yeah.
While Greer is the opposite. Greer has, Ward 6 or District 6. It's only like 3 precincts because they have it all spread apart. I think the mayor may get elected by the whole
Yeah.
city, but everybody else is just their little district.
Yeah.
So it's weird.
It is really weird.
They're all different systems, and I think they make different systems so they keep us confused.
Exactly.
Makes sense in the time, but the reality is the bigger guys are trying to keep it all confused. So
Yeah, I want to say that I do have a great group that's helping me, and I'm supposed to beat them at 12:30.
go.
You're late.
But I'm late. But they start without me, believe me. And they're door hanging. They're door hanging today and tomorrow, big time, especially around the downtown area, which seems to be the biggest turnout for the elections. So everywhere they turn around now, they're seeing this sign there right behind Jeff. And that Tucson just jumps out at you. So we're doing well, but it's because the right people are helping. And I appreciate that.
And you got the
Appreciate
mafia.
it, sir.
You got the
I
mafia.
got the mafia, yes. Yes, I was Sicilian. And my grandfathers and his wife, they came here in a rickety old boat from Sicily,
Yes.
and here I'm out with a result there. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What a
Thank
mess.
you.
Thanks, Jerry.
Good work, Jerry.
Jerry got this on the top page of the newspaper down there, the Simpsonville Sentinel. He put his name above the banner, above the 250th of the Navy. I don't know how he does what he does, but
What's your name?
one of those shrink wraps. Nope, to the left.
That was trick wraps.
This?
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it. So as we're talking, people are working, which is fantastic.
Thank you.
Okay, what else? What else of interest do we want to talk about? Legislative stuff? I see that the S-323 is coming back in November.
Yes, won't be up
Won't
for
be
a hearing.
testimony.
Yeah, you won't have a chance to get testimony. That's over, but it's very exciting that the Senate's actually doing something with it, and still an opportunity for us to reach out and tell our senators to support it, especially Greenville County, because we have such a huge representation on the board. We've got three senators in the committee. Not all of them are in the subcommittee, but they talk to each other nonetheless. That's been my report today is going to be kind of light. That's the big one. That's the good news. Kwani is free. We talked about that last week. Although she did not show up on Thursday, and the clinic's closed on Friday, but she did not. She showed up on Wednesday. Had the police called on her again, and she did not show up on Thursday. She did not show up on Monday or Tuesday this week. Apparently, she was there Wednesday and Thursday this week, but I was told she was relatively tame for her, for compared to the way she usually acts. So
the ban of her showing up there has been taken off.
apparently, I need to find out who we need to fire, because we've been trying since February to get the paperwork that would say exactly what she can and can't do, and we've been getting the runaround. You have a hard time finding what office it's in, because everyone's pointing the finger. Well, it's not this court. It's not this court records. It's that court records. And say, no, it's not here. It's over there. And then they bring us back to the first one. From HSP, we have to reach out to the judge. Which I need to start putting some work into that. It's been going on for 10 months now.
Perfect court can be able to answer
That they should. But like I said, every time we've gone to the one right next to the courtroom, we've gone to the one there next to the prison. We've talked to people in Columbia. Everyone says it's easy, you just go over here, and they say, no, it's not us, it's somebody else. It's been extremely frustrating. The 3 victims who won their case are burned out. They don't want to deal with it anymore. And based on emails that have been going back and forth, I actually came up with an idea. And Jeff, I talked to you a little bit about it. I'm writing that email I sent out describing what happened. I just turned it into an actual letter with a simple letterhead and my signature block at the end. I'm going to pass it to Jeff, and then he's going to send it to Ms. Crick. She is up for re-election in November of next year. Her seat comes. She was not elected. Her predecessor retired. The state.
He's still on our new solicitor.
Yes, Ms. Crick. The previous solicitor retired. Recommended her. McAllister put her in. So she has not been elected. Pro-life community was not terribly fond of her to begin with, but she was the prosecuting attorney. This paperwork's disappeared on. The judge back in February, she was the prosecuting attorney. And
Really?
yeah, she was. She had her assistant was there. Her assistant, Bird, was the one who was at Kwani's trial last week. But anyway, looking to see put a little pressure on her. This is the court case was beyond the pale. This isn't simple name calling. It's beyond the pale, and the court records are there to prove everything I'm saying in my statement. Matter of fact, I'll probably have you more detail if you wanted to get down to. I could come up with more accusations.
It's like what we deal with the SCGOP. The details don't matter because the fix is done already. So it's funny. I actually asked that of our prior solicitor about the case that I was involved in, and that was his answer. I was like, yeah, what? And it's like, you're literally saying this? I mean, I went to law school, but I practiced law, but mainly accounting and all that kind of stuff. So I kind of, remembered, from the old days what lawyers and the lawyer creed and all that stuff was about. But then when I'm sitting here talking to people, they don't abide by it, and they find ways to work around it. And this will be interesting to figure out what they're doing in that particular case.
Yeah, I just, the fact that she is an elected official does give us some power.
Yeah. But mainly though, I know she's being that position is up in November, but it's a partisan race. So June 9th, the primaries is going to be the main issue. So I don't think the Democrats are going to win Solicitor of Greenville and Pickens. It'll be the Republicans. So the real race is June 9th.
Yeah, but between something someone said in an email I got caught up in and the censorship of Pamela DeBeck got me thinking. So.
Well, I mean, censoring somebody, I mean, how else we have no other authority to do stuff except our bully pulpit. So that's what's been funny for us. I mean, we preached the bully pulpit forever. I mean, how many times have you seen, that picture of whatever president was using his bully pulpit, saying this is what we're looking to achieve. What? Roosevelt, whichever one. But I mean, imagine, we get Frank elected as SCGOP chairman, and he doesn't kill me first, but we get him elected, and then he just sits up there and he doesn't say anything. We need a chairman that will utilize the bully pulpit to push these people to do the right thing. We need a governor. A governor is number 7 probably on the power scheme in this state. So in reality, it doesn't matter who we pick as governor. I mean, I hate to say it, but they will have, the governor of a state will have the bully pulpit, and we need somebody who's going to say something and push these people and expose these things, not go in a back room and all be chummy and everybody's buddy. That's not what we're looking for. And, there are some municipalities, and I even saw, in Greenville, we had a debate, for the 2 contested Greenville city race candidates or positions. And the incumbent was sitting there talking about how they all get along. And I'm like, that's not what we're not looking for, for a uniparty for the city of Greenville that everybody's getting along. Because that means somebody on one side is not fighting hard enough. Because I'm sure I'm looking at the city and they're getting all their liberal things passed. Well, we're not getting anything conservative passed. So, that's,
She's a solicitor for Greenville and Pickens counties, so
correct.
I think we have quite a bit of power with her on board.
Right. And if we need to, hopefully she'll work cooperatively and we can find out what happened in this case and why things are getting dropped. But we got to.
More importantly, what's going to change in the future.
Yeah, correct. But I mean, maybe we need to start looking for somebody who wants to run for solicitor. We'll know a lot more after the November 4th election. So that's why we are getting very involved in these elections. So
other than that, I just have my outreaches. Like I said, it's been a pretty quiet week. Well, at least as far as the pro-life is concerned. Monday, 3 days from now, meet and greet with Mark Lynch. I'm going to be promoting, of course, the pro-life aspect, but this is open to the public. It's at the Hughes Main Library, so anyone can attend. No fee. November 10, have Lisa Van Riper she's with South Carolina Citizens for Life. She's going to talk about what SCC is and what they stand for and how they work. I know she's a very intelligent woman, but based on what SCCL did and right before S323, I've got some pretty harsh questions on why SCCL did what they did. It's not necessarily a reflection on her personally, but nonetheless, she is one of the senior executives on on the committee. November 4th, we're the pro-life committee partnered with Flourish Adoptions. They're having a golf tournament. It's $500 for foursome. It includes golf balls and lunch. The money's going to go to help adoption agencies through Flourish. December, I think it's the 8th. It's the second Monday. Movie night. We'll be having Horton Hatches the Egg, followed by Health. Everything we do in the pro-life community is always so depressing, so we're going to use December to do something a little bit enlightening. And as I mentioned earlier, in January we gave a talk on socialism, where it came from, what it is, and how it's even affecting a lot of people who hate socialism, people who are very, very conservative. There's a lot of subtle things that go on that help promote the socialist agenda. And even though most conservatives aren't going to come up with what we have, nonetheless, that gives that little bit of an edge for the crazies to be able to do what it is they do want.
When's that going to be?
January, the second Monday. I'll get the date real quick. And it'll be at these. The 12th.
Cheryl Wilson put a comment on here. They have GDS, grassroots derangement syndrome. It is a thing in the upstate. It must have been from part of the earlier conversation. I get, obviously there's Trump derangement syndrome, there's Jeff Davis derangement syndrome, but in reality, it is grassroots derangement syndrome because it's about the people. If I disappear today, whoever's the next person it's going to be after them, unless you just go back to the supper club and we don't call anybody out. We don't push any legislation. We don't complain about FILAs. We don't complain about development. We don't complain about the fact that the percentage of Trump votes or Republican votes are going down, 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 down. We don't complain. We don't complain about that. And that's the person sitting in the chair seat. That person will be liked. But when you complain about it and when you offer to do the work to fix it,
Then you're on everybody's list.
then you're on everybody's list. And it's so funny to watch the Charlie Kirk stuff. Sometimes they talk about, everybody loved Charlie, everybody loved Charlie. And then they talk about the fact that everybody hated Charlie, everybody hated Charlie. I mean, they hated him because he did speak. He spoke truth. And what we do here in Greenville is we kind of try to follow the whole Trey Gowdy method, which, they hate us using. Speak truth to power. That's what the constituents in the 4th Congressional District wanted. They wanted somebody that would speak truth to power. Okay, Trey got tired of doing it or couldn't do it, and continued to do what he was doing. But we need people that are willing to speak truth to power. And that's what we're doing. So we're pushing it. All right. I got no problem ending early. That's good. We got lots of work to do. So we will be back on next next Friday. We got all kinds of things going on. So if you're in the upstate, if you're here in Greenville, come in during the week. We're going to have tasks and projects that we're doing and getting done for candidates, calls, texting, you name it, lit drops, all that kind of stuff. Election day is November. Obviously, Tuesday is going to be a big day for the special elections because that's the election day for those two special elections, House District 21 and Senate District 12. But our big election day is going to be November 4th. So we're going to need to have some people that will monitor, greet folks, do that type of stuff at some precincts. So we want to focus on, like Jerry's got the 4 precincts that he's got down in Simpsonville covered, but we need to cover our precincts down in the city of Greenville, greet people. There's certain things you can do to greet people, and you may pick up a vote or two doing that type of stuff. So that's what we're going to be doing there. So, but there's a lot of stuff to do. Now is the time to get involved. We actually had a couple that I think what did they do? They came the other day, but they called in and they just get some information. And the next morning we had a new volunteer. And we're like, let's test her out on calling me. So she called that couple and asked them to come in, and they were here for about 3 or 4 hours. Told us all their stories and did a bunch of work. So everybody's welcome, and we got a lot of projects to do. So have a great weekend and go support a candidate. Take care.
Enjoy. I want to thank everybody too for the cake.